I have to ask you about the fact that you say you're voting for Donald Trump. You said just earlier last month, October 8th, the day of the Access Hollywood tape breaking, I'm out. I can no longer endorse Donald Trump for president. And you talked about your 15-year-old daughter saying you can't look her in the eye and tell her that you endorse this man when he acts like this. So, you know, I realize voting for him is different than an endorsement, but how are you going to look the same 15-year-old daughter you referenced and explain your vote?
Well, my wife and I did vote for Donald Trump last week. I think we're doing and going through a lot of the discussions that people all across this country are doing. I never, ever want to be able to say it's President Hillary Clinton, and that's the choice. There's only two people that have a chance of becoming the president. And if you don't vote for Donald Trump, you're essentially creating a window, an opportunity for Hillary Clinton to become the president. So it's tough. We are never going to support or endorse or condone any sort of action or verbs or words or anything about sexual harassment or belittling women. I don't want to ever be in that position. But we're with a choice right now.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate, because what his critics would say is past his prologue. And if he gets into the office, the most powerful office in the land, and does any of this stuff to any young women, that's on you if you voted for him. That's their argument.
Well, it's not like the Clintons have a clean record, Megan. I mean, all you have to do is look what Bill Clinton did in the Oval Office and what he did with interns and all these other lines of women and what they were doing. So it's not as if you're comparing apples to oranges. I mean, it should never be acceptable, ever. And that's exactly what I talked about with my 15-year-old daughter and our son and our other daughter as well. But you have a choice. And if you look at the Supreme Court and you look at all the other issues that face this country, by far, it's Donald Trump is going to be better. That's how we looked at it, and that's why I made the decision to vote this way. But I'm still not going to endorse him. I still can't defend those comments. But we all have to make a choice, and that's a choice that my wife and I made.
Why have you changed your mind as far as who you're publicly talking about supporting right now? Because now you tweeted later, I will not defend or endorse real Donald Trump, and I am voting for him. HRC is that bad. HRC is bad for the USA. But you still haven't explained why you changed your mind from that original statement October 7th when you said you couldn't look your daughter and your wife in the eye and say you were going to support Donald Trump after that Access Hollywood video came out.
I guess I do see a difference between an endorsement and publicly defending somebody and my actual
What is the
vote.
difference? If you tell your supporters in Utah, I'm voting for Donald Trump, that sounds to me like an endorsement.
Well, I think they're different. I think the endorsement is far different than who you actually vote for. And you know, it's the one vote I actually do for myself. I don't represent anybody else. We all get the same vote. But in the context of either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, it's Donald Trump. And I think Mike Pence has articulated that, and I think we've seen that across the country. I do think they're different.
Because a lot of folks in Utah, based on all the polls, are going to vote for Evan McMullin, a third-party candidate. Did you think about doing that?
No, I don't think that's a fast track to nowhere. The reality is there's only two people that might become the president, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. That's the vote that's facing us, and that's why I'm voting for Donald Trump.
I know you say Hillary Clinton is crooked, and you're obviously very condemnatory of her, but what information came to light on that night of that tweet that made you change your mind?
I think I've been contemplating this for some time. There wasn't some magical moment that happened, but you know, I've tried to champion openness and transparency. I thought maybe I could go through this without having to talk about who I was actually going to vote for, but people wanted to know, and I'm in a public spot, so I said, all right, I'll tell you who I'm going to vote for, and I'm going to vote for Donald Trump.
You see why some people are now calling you a hypocrite?
Well, you know, everybody, I think, is struggling with their own decision. But as I also said in there, I will never, ever vote for Hillary Clinton. I struggled with this. I'm not going to endorse Donald Trump. I'm not going to do that. I can't defend the comments that he made. But elections are tough decisions where, in this point, you have two people that are one of the two, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, could become the next president of the United States. And last week, my wife and I both voted for Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States. I think Hillary Clinton is that bad. She is so bad and so wrong for the United States of America. I think her ability to look in the camera and just lie scares me more than anything. And so it's a tough decision. I think I reflect what a lot of Utahns and a lot of Americans are struggling with. But at the end of the day, I really like the idea of Donald Trump. But those actions and those words, we should never find them acceptable, never.